Hey everyone, it's Isaya. Hey again. Sorry, let me just fix okay, here we are. Hello, it's Isaya. So this is one of my special podcast episodes from the Isaya's Inspiring Evenings podcast. And as you may remember, I do once a month an episode with a guest, and they're called Things Women Don't Talk About. And they're all about let me introduce that properly, because I have tonight, the first thing I need to say is tonight my guest is Pia Becker. Hi Pia. welcome. And I'm going to introduce you in lengthy ways, but first let me just remind a little bit of who I am. So I'm Isaiah. I'm an artist, magical, pragmatic, inspiration mentor, and tech coach, goddess teacher, traveling priestess, and I work with the Greek goddesses archetypes, and I facilitate retreats online and offline all around the world. So these particular episodes, it's a series, and it's a conversation with a guest around topics that are seldom discussed, whether because they're too difficult or serious enough to be broadcasted. So whether they're too mundane or too sacred, they're too dark or too light, they're taboo or too fun. So basically, for me, no subject is off the table. And that's why I'm really interested in Pia, because Pia comes with a subject that is also inspiring, all about the dreams. And is it selfish? Do we consider that dreaming is selfish or not? So Pia is a dream guide and mentor at Dream and Wonderland. She helps women discover, explore, and reconnect to their dreams and supports them in turning them into reality. Isn't that exciting? So that everyone can live a life that is truly meant for them. Her journey began in 2014 when she eventually started to wander and fulfill her childhood dream of traveling the world. Being a traveling priestess myself, I can relate. One country at a time whenever it was possible. Today, she's working on making another dream come true by transitioning from her corporate job to the freedom of her own business that allows her to help others fulfill their dreams. I'm excited. So, welcome, Pia. I'm so happy you're here. And again, the subject that we are going to discuss tonight is around the limitations often imposed upon us by society, genetics, and the like, around dreaming, following those dreams, and having maybe ambitions. We are going to delve in the topic of dreaming outside of the authorized dreaming boxes. So I'm really excited about that. I hope you are too. So tell me, Pia, first of all, what the hell do you call a dream? What is a dream for you?
A dream for me is basically a kind of idea in your head that is sometimes far, far away in the future, and sometimes we tend to not really believe in it because we think that it's not possible for us
Mm-hmm.
for what reason ever. And this is where the magic comes in, when you start to actually believe in the things that they can come true, and also that they can come true for yourself. Then it's, yeah.
So a dream is one of those ideas that will not go away. I wish I had this or that. It's not something that, because sometimes we have like a little desire, let's put it this way.
Mhm.
Oh, I wish I could, I don't know, swimming in the swimming pool today. But then you forget about it, or the weather's not good and it goes away.
Yeah.
Whereas when we're talking about a dream, is something that kind of is glued into your head and comes back
Yes.
again, and you build upon it also. Do you agree with that? That we kind
Yeah.
of we elaborate on the idea. So I go from um, I wish I could swim in a swimming pool today to, hey, I would love to have a swimming pool around my house, and how can I build a swimming pool and what kind of swimming pool? So I go into elaborating the details, and that then becomes a bigger dream, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
and so the question, of course, the next question would be, do we, in order to follow this dream, I'm going to have to go somewhere else than where I am, right? To follow, to start believing that this is not everything, that the life I'm living right now is not the life that I'm going to be living for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
So it's kind of just you. I'm thinking giving oneself permission.
that is definitely one part of it. Yes, I would say, because how can I say that? It's like the point when you get to, or when you get to the point that you actually believe in something, is when you give yourself permission to actually dream. And yeah, it's how can I say, so often we are told that it's not possible, or it's too crazy, or we should take care of our daily to-do lists or whatever. And
So
often,
it's like the world is telling us that it's an either or situation. It's either we dream or we take care of the today, and basically there's no time for dreaming. Is that the education that um, you had, maybe yourself, or that you believe most of us have?
yes, actually, yes. So it myself, I don't know, just an example, a very simple thing. I got myself a cleaning lady 2 years ago who
Yay!
does all the household stuff for me. And my whole life I was told, tidy up your room, and when I don't do it, then I'm lazy, and things like that. And it was never part of my life when I grew up, for example, that a cleaning lady is actually a possibility for me. And until that point, I always said to myself, when I'm grown up, then I will get a cleaning lady or a cleaning person
Oh.
or whoever.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
you had a dream of a cleaning lady, and you made it happen, literally.
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome. I had the exact opposite. I was I was also brainwashed into you're supposed to be cleaning your house by yourself and clean your room, etc.,
Mhm.
etc. But I never dreamt, because I never gave myself permission, I think, to dream of a cleaning lady, actually. And I got sent one because I was very sick at some point. And
Mhm.
so the state, when I was pregnant, and the state gave me or paid for a cleaning lady for a while. And once she was there, the dream became reality. It was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have her.
Yes.
And I understand that but so you managed to go in your head from a
Mhm.
place of I'm supposed to be cleaning myself, to no, I give myself permission to dream of a cleaning lady, and
Mhm.
then make the dream happen. Which
Yes.
of the two um, steps would you consider most difficult? The mindset thing at the beginning, or the dream happening after that?
I both were not easy.
I'm sure.
um, but yeah, I think the hardest part is actually to give yourself permission and to see yourself worth to
Worthy. Hmm.
deserve some to make things happen that you want to, and get yourself a cleaning person, or go on
Yeah,
a work trip
maybe
or
even there's maybe even I don't know. I'm guessing here. You'll tell me if I'm right, but maybe even before the giving permission, there's just to be able to imagine that you were allowed to have a cleaning woman, and or to dream of a cleaning woman is even before that. And for some people, I guess it's just even mentioning a dream.
Mhm.
That, like, it's not even in their scenery. Let's put it this way. It doesn't even exist. Do you actually work with people suggesting dreams?
Suggesting, how do you mean that?
Suggesting that, giving them ideas. Hey, why won't you? That would be awesome.
At least in my friends circle, I sometimes talking about stuff. Hey, you could do that, or when they try and tell me that they, I don't know, as an example, my best friend, for example, she loves to upcycle old furniture and stuff, and like do those from very old and traditional looking furniture. She does some kind of shabby chic
Awesome.
upcycle thingy. So it's very beautiful what comes out after that. And the perfect idea for that, for example, would be, I mean, she doesn't know where to put all that stuff, and it's too beautiful to put it back on the street for some other, or on the flea market or whatever. So why? I just ask her, why don't you just sell a couple of the things and make some profit out of it? I mean, it's fun to you, and before it
Yeah,
stands in the
absolutely.
darkest cellar corner, then do something with it. Or
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of mind opening,
yeah.
that for her to be. Yeah, sometimes we need somebody else to just suggest ideas, because we're stuck in our head with what we have been educated to believe is possible or allowed. And I since you mentioned in the bio that I was reading earlier around traveling, for instance, there are many people who believe that traveling is impossible for them for whatever reason. If you're a woman, you're not allowed to travel alone, for instance, or it's not imaginable. I travel alone a lot, and I've been told repeatedly how brave, and it's
Yeah,
it was just
same with me.
maybe, yeah.
Especially when I talk to my grandma and I tell her I just was in the US for 4 weeks and just by myself. And she says, oh my gosh, I'm so scared that something happens to you. And why are you doing that? And things like that. And I tell her it's better than sitting at home and just dream about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you call, what is the difference for you between a regular dream, let's call it that way, and what we would call a life dream? Something that would be, is it just bigger, or is it a different wavelength?
It's a big thing. It's a really, really big thing that can turn your life upside down. And so in my case, for example, it would completely look the opposite of what my life is looking right now. And I think that is the difference between a dream like visiting WrestleMania one more time, in compared to I want to live in a way that I can decide by myself when I want to travel, how long, where I want to work from, things like that. And at the moment, this is definitely not the case. And I would, so right now, if I would fulfill that dream in the way that I want to do it, it would mean that I have to quit my job. I have to cancel my apartment properly because I can't pay it anymore at the moment, at least. And then sell all my stuff and just grab a suitcase and
Go.
go. And this is so completely different from what it is right now. And it's also scary.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
But exciting at the same time. And if it's something that really lights you up and you start smiling immediately, like I'm doing right now because I talk about it, then it's something that you should do sooner or later.
Yeah, and maybe it doesn't mean that we have to, that if we have this kind of life-changing dream, maybe it doesn't mean that we have to change everything at once and kind
Exactly.
of, burn our bridges behind us,
Yeah.
and that's it. I'm as far as I'm concerned, I also have a dream of traveling,
Hmm.
and part of it is actually coming to life, and I have now for a few years, um, but I'm balancing uh, the way I live for enough safety to not feel so scared that if, because
Yes.
the thing with fear is that there's an amount of fear that is manageable and that is excitement also,
Hmm.
and then there's too much fear which is paralyzing, which
Yeah.
is not good whatever the dream. So maybe we don't have to, we can change little things at a time
Yeah.
or little steps at a time,
Yeah. Baby
and
steps,
then we're, yeah,
one time,
baby steps.
one step at a time. And then get accustomed to the fact that quitting my job comes closer, for
Hmm.
example.
Hmm.
And yeah, to prepare
Yeah,
my
and if we're
brain.
talking about quitting our jobs, when I quit my job as a teacher, I was a middle school English teacher in France, and I quit just after the pandemic, the after the first lockdown. Um, but I knew that I quit in a way that I would get unemployment money for a year, so
Hmm.
I quit, but I still had some money coming
Yeah.
for the next few months. So again. Um, Accommodating the dream with the harsh reality that I could not afford to finance the dream if I had no money coming in from day one. So maybe
Yeah.
there's also a lot of uh, it doesn't have to be a either I stay here and do exactly as I've always done, or I
Hmm.
change everything
Yes.
at once. So yeah, we can be both.
Yes.
And do you believe life dreams change? Or is it like from day one in your life, you've dreamt of this and I've dreamt of that, for instance? Or do we evolve in our dreaming?
I think we definitely evolve and change over time. And this might mean also that our dreams might change over time, especially when we finally at the point when we have made it somehow, when we fulfilled that dream. We sometimes we realize that, okay, now I have done it, but somehow it doesn't feel the way that I have expected
Hmm?
or and suddenly we see, oh, maybe another dream is coming up. And
Maybe there's a level two.
yeah, for example. So it's
Travel without a suitcase.
yeah, only a handbag and a laptop. Um, yeah, so I think it depends on in which stages we are. For just for my example, for a long time it was only being able to travel was that dream,
Hmm.
and as then I did it finally, and over a couple of years, and with that journey of all my travels and all my trips to wherever in the world, new experience came in, or I had new experience and challenges that I've overcame, and I've grown over the years, and so did my dream. And
Yeah.
now it's not only traveling, but also living that life of freedom.
Hmm.
And yeah, so it definitely can change over time. And also, I believe that even if we are not yet at the finish line and we have fulfilled that dream, it's allowed to change that.
Hmm.
So we are not meant to stick with it for the rest of our lives, even if we haven't.
Yeah, because then it becomes another prison.
Yes,
The dream
exactly.
becomes another prison then.
Yeah, and this is also what I heard a lot when that people that people have followed one dream for such a long time and put so much effort in it to actually make it happen, and suddenly or slowly or suddenly, it depends on each person, they realize, wait a minute, that is actually not what I want anymore. And then
Yeah.
they are, I don't know, full of shame or whatever, that they
Yeah, it's
followed
like
the wrong
it's
road
almost
or
like
whatever.
failure.
Yeah,
You know,
kind of.
I
Yeah.
failed to dream the right dream. Like there is a right dream and a
Yes.
wrong dream. That makes sense. But I can absolutely
Yeah.
relate, because this traveling thing. I was born in a very traveling family, so I've traveled a lot, but always with people. And my dream was always to travel alone. And when I did, I'm just actually coming back from the UK. I was in the UK last week, and for a month, and I traveled around. And I realized this time that my dream is actually changing, and it's
Hmm.
more about being somewhere else rather than traveling.
Yeah.
So living for a while in this or that part of the world, um, and just having the most mundane, stupid life, like going to the supermarket, only it's in Colchester. And
Yeah.
then next month it's in Aachen, and the next month it's in Greece or something like that.
Hmm.
But it's way more around this than a few years ago. If you'd asked me, I would have gone for no, I want to travel, I want to be a tourist, basically.
Yes.
And now I don't want to be a tourist anymore. And it took me a while to kind of go into this, oh, but I'm not going to feel guilty for changing my dream, am I? you know, but
Yeah.
I can see that. So the official subject of the podcast was, is following your dreams selfish? But before we go into this exact question, my question would be, what does that mean to follow your dreams for you? How would you define or explain that to someone who kind of is asking?
It's actually just taking action, kind of, and making decisions that is in favor to that dream. Just for example, the traveling thing. If your dream is to travel, then actually do travel. Don't let anyone or anything hold you back from that dream.
Hmm.
Because for my example, the most of my 20s, so in school, of course, I couldn't do a lot of traveling because I had to go to school and doesn't have the money, and for a long time I had to stick with my parents,
Yeah, makes
things like that.
sense.
In my 20s, I went to university, so I didn't have the money and the time. And after that, I had a job that actually gave me the money, but I didn't really found anyone to come with me on a trip or into having vacation together, because whether they went with their boyfriends or they didn't want to do the same things as I want to do, or what reason ever. And so I it didn't even occur to me that I could go on those vacation trips by myself and alone and
Hmm.
do things what I wanted. That wasn't just in my world and not in my head. And so was stuck at home and got frustrated and angry and mad on those so-called friends that didn't want to travel with me. And it drove me crazy. And until it took me, it was in, I was 29, I think. And I asked another time if anyone wants to go with me on a trip to WrestleMania again. The third time in the row, so the third year in a row, I got a no from all kind of sources, from all the wrestling buddies. I'm a wrestling fan. I can't help myself. Um,
Why would you?
so it was the third year that I got a no from all the wrestling buddies, and at that time I was so freaking. I could have screamed, and I actually in my head I was screaming, "Fuck you! Now I'm going by myself." And I swear to myself that within the next 2 years I will be at WrestleMania, no matter what. If I'm alone or not, I don't care, but I will be there. And that was some kind of a, how do you say that, striking point or something?
Yeah, a defining moment.
Yeah, kind of. And then it starts all came together, like the newsletters from the wrestling company offering their sales packages for the WrestleMania weekend. Kind of destiny suddenly. Yeah, and then it started working in my mind. Okay, when I now go by myself, then I don't need to go only for the weekend, but I could extend it to the whole 2.5 weeks or whatever of full vacation. And then I can go wherever I want, and I don't need to ask anyone. And a total new world was open to me. And ever since I'm a fan of solo traveling, so I stick with it.
Yeah, no, I think that there's very often, I think, this defining moment, and I'm pretty sure that we can help other people have their defining moment, by working on the mindset of,
Yeah,
why not dream bigger? Why not, even
yeah,
suggesting dreams like you were mentioning for your friend, or for our clients. And that means that we can, it's possible to kind of open the mind or the eyes of the other persons into the dream. This is a possibility. And then the magic happens almost by itself, as you were saying.
yeah.
The emails come, the invitations come, things happen. But it's also, do we then listen? Do we then listen to the universe and to whatever is happening around us, so that we actually take action to follow these dreams, right?
Yeah.
And and then starts and then the question comes, is that selfish? So does that mean that if I have a dream that just concerns me, is it selfish? And if it is it a good idea or a bad one?
I think the word selfish is often how do you say, received in a negative way.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, it can sometimes be negative when you are selfish, but in the meaning of following your dreams, it's kind of putting or making yourself a priority to yourself and making sure that you take care of yourself, that your needs are met, that you taking, because it doesn't make sense to sacrifice for someone else, for example, just because the person next to you doesn't want you to travel alone in the world because he or she is scared or feels alone when he or she sits at home and waiting for you coming back in 4 weeks or so. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the question of the selfishness is double. First of all, there is the do we consider that taking care of ourselves first is a bad idea? And immediately my answer would be no, and I'm sure yours either. Of course not. It's like with the oxygen mask in the airplane, right?
exactly,
First you
yeah,
put your own oxygen mask, then you take care of the rest of the world,
yeah,
because otherwise you're dead, basically. If you try to take care of others before putting your own oxygen mask,
yes.
there's no
And
way.
then you can't help anyone anymore.
Mhm.
And they are dead probably too, because you couldn't.
And then the second question would be also that maybe by following our dreams, not only are we happier, but also we preach by example. We kind of show the way. We
Yeah.
demonstrate that it's possible to follow our dreams. And maybe even the people around us are enchanted by the idea and their minds are open. So maybe we're
Mhm.
actually helping. Not only
Yeah.
is it not selfish, but maybe it's threefold, and we actually go to the point where I consider myself an inspiration person. So
Mhm.
the podcast is called Isaya's Inspiring Evenings, and my idea is really that we I can live a life of my choice, and that can be an inspiration in and of itself, that I don't
Mhm.
even have to teach. It's just me doing it. So
Yeah.
following your dreams, I'm supposing, is the exact same situation where you actually demonstrate by the way you do that it's
Mhm.
possible.
Yes. And
And if it's
especially with
possible,
me, if I can make it happen, then other people can do that too.
exactly, exactly. That's amazing. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, because it also opens up this amazing possibility that when we fulfill our dreams, when we follow our dreams, we are actually um, kind of, might be our purpose in the world or our mission in the world. Not
Mhm.
more than this, just doing what we are dreaming of and becoming who we are dreaming of becoming might be the purpose in
Yes.
and of itself without anything more necessary, which is so relaxing. I don't have to demonstrate anything
Yes.
else. I just have to give myself permission to have the dream and then take action into following it. And
Mhm.
that creates a life purpose.
Yeah.
That is also a the opposite of selfish, because it's a demonstration of how the possibilities exist.
Mhm.
So yeah, then dreaming becomes a life purpose.
Yes. For example, isn't that
Whatever.
cool?
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. So
To all the people who are still looking for purpose, just follow your
exactly,
dreams.
exactly. So of course I'm going to ask, what's your next dream?
My next dream is it's building. So I have a couple of dreams. So
Yeah,
obviously the
because why
the
limit ourselves to one?
um yeah. I mean, in the end, the both are connected to each other. The first thing is definitely to at sooner or later being able to quit my job and live the way I really like to live, and only me to ask for permission and not anyone else. That's the main purpose of that dream. And connected to this, to make that happen, is actually to build my own business and to help other, especially women, to see that for themselves what is possible. To maybe they have had some dreams in their childhood that they totally forgot about, or that everyone, teachers, parents, or whoever told them that won't be possible for them, or that it's too
Yeah, we
crazy
we
or
did not discuss that, but it's worth a parenthesis. I think the idea of this is impossible, so you might as well
something.
not dream it. Oh, fuck
Yeah.
you. Of
Yes.
course, if I don't dream it, of course it becomes impossible.
Yeah.
But it's the other way around, because when I was a teenager, my dream was to become an actress. I wanted to play in
Mm-hmm.
movies, and my life turned out differently. But when I was 19, I applied to UCLA, so the University of California, where they had a big drama department, and I actually got accepted.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have, although everybody was telling me it's impossible, I
Yeah.
did get a letter of acceptance from one of the biggest drama schools in the world, which means everything is possible. because I'm
Yes.
not that special, So, and the dreaming, at least for me, you're going to tell me if you agree with that, but for me, the dreaming should never be linked to the possibility, because the possibility is what we create. The
Yes.
dream, the dream has to exist, whatever, no matter what.
Yeah. That's true. I totally agree. Yeah.
Because there is absolutely no way you're gonna get what you want if you don't even dare to want it, basically, to dream it.
Yes.
But there is a strong pressure. I agree. To circle back to where you were, there's a strong pressure to because people are afraid, as we were saying, and also because they compare,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So,
That's
who
yeah.
is she
No.
to? How selfish of her to want to travel,
Yeah.
and and then there's a judgment also on
Mm-hmm.
on people who dream big and who have crazy dreams, and even worse, decide to make them freaking happen. So, but yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
and I'm really sure that if you I mean you, Pia, could actually own that you are a dream coach, kind of, I'm going to coach and teach you guys how to dream and to hold these dreams and carry them with you. There are so many people that need that are in dire
Mm-hmm.
need of that, of support, be in on the face of adversity, of all the people who are shaming them, blaming them, and or making them feel small, or crazy.
Mm-hmm.
50-year-old woman traveling alone around the world. You crazy? Um, so I think that um, I would love to have a dream coach to support me in a journey like that, and again, the
Yeah.
the, the purpose, um, which is, if you live it, then you can be an inspiration for other people, and that's it.
Yes.
Amazing.
Agree.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I think it's so important to have, if it's not yourself yet, but to have someone else who's believing with you. You know what I try to say?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I
Yeah, kind of a
experienced,
cheerleader of your dreams.
yeah,
Somebody
because
who
a lot of times I experienced it in my life when I told anyone one of my dreams, might it be the big ones or the small ones. Um, the first thing that almost always comes from other people is something negative about it. And so to the point that I don't even talk about my dreams
yeah,
to them anymore. And
yeah.
that's ah,
No, I feel you. I feel you so
no,
much. It's like such a stupid but really
yes,
so widespread idea. And I think it comes out of I'm going to be blunt here, jealousy, because
sometimes, yeah.
when you
Hmm.
go out, or of fake concern, you know.
Hmm. It
But
could be
but
all kind of reasons, jealousy
but there's
or
there's
because
lots
they,
of I've not allowed myself to dream, so how come
yes,
this woman can?
yeah,
And that's
for example,
a little sad for
yeah.
them, and that means that there's other people that are not daring to dream, and that is very sad.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah, dream cheerleader, I love that. Yeah, there is a I'm pretty sure that there is a I don't want to call it a market for that, but that there is uh, a, I'm the word that comes to me, and sorry, I have to extend an apology also, because I did not mention that from the beginning of this podcast. Neither Pia nor me are English speakers as a first language. So, of course, you, the listeners, please excuse our mistakes and hesitations. So, what I meant to say with this idea of cheerleading the dreams or the dreamers is that also it's a wider purpose than just helping one person, because this is how we change the
Yes.
world, with authorizing ourselves and other people to dream. This is how we change the world, because if nobody dreams the change, no change is happening.
Yes. Fully
So I believe
agree.
this is a huge purpose / mission to, in fact, it's kind of, I'm doing this little thing in my corner of the world, but in fact, this is freaking how we change the world. And it's both frightening and very, very exciting to imagine that we can dream this big. Also, limiting our dreams always makes them less appealing.
Yeah.
And if my dream is to travel, or let's say my dream is a castle, and I end up buying a little house in a town, I'm not that happy. And so I think that maintaining a big dream and having someone or people, other people, to support you in this maintaining the big dreams is very, very essential.
Yes.
Yeah, we could have dreaming masterminds. Let's all dream together, kind of, because we all, I think, need places where we're allowed to dream out loud and not be ashamed of our dreams or afraid that they're going to be met with negative comments or fear or so yeah, create a dreaming mastermind.
Actually, something like that I have planned for the near future, to have some kind of, I don't know, Saturday afternoon tea meetups and just talking about our dreams and what we want
That's
for our life.
awesome. That's
Things like that.
lovely. That's lovely, lovely, lovely. Lovely, which is going to be kind of more or less the ending of this podcast, because we've already been talking for 45 minutes. And so if you want to be part of any of Pia's exciting new stuff and go and drink tea and dream with Pia, you can find Pia on her website, obviously, at dreamandwonderland.com/welcome. You will find all the coordinates of her website and all the other places where you can meet Pia, either above or below the video or in the podcast description, if you're listening to that on our podcast. But please make sure to go and subscribe to her amazing ideas of let's all dream together and support each other. And I'm pretty sure that the inspiration that we get from people who dare to dream and who dare to make them dreams come true and follow their dreams is amazing. So thank you very, very much, Pia, for opening up our minds to the idea that dreaming is actually it might be our life's purpose. Isn't that exciting?
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So you will find this podcast on every podcast platform as from tomorrow. Thank you very much for listening to both of us. As far as the next episode is concerned, it's next month, so June, sorry. And I don't really know. I don't remember who's coming. Somebody amazing, I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Pia. That was awesome. I will see you around. Bye, guys.